Hello and welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. And today I'm trying the Ardnahoe Inaugural Release 5 years. Yeah, it's the first release of the newly built Ardnahoe Distillery, as it's already a couple of years old. I think they started in 2016, and the Laing family under Stuart Laing and his sons Andrew and Scott, they went around and had a look. They wanted to build a distillery, as they are in the whiskey industry, but they don't have any distilleries, as they are independent bottlers. So the independent bottlers, most of them want to stay in the business, so they try to look for distilleries, as all those years ago Andrew Symington actually bought the Ardnahoe Distillery, and he is the independent bottler of Signatory. So Stuart Laing and the sons went around, had a look, and they found a 4-acre big plot of land. It was to be developed on the Isle of Islay, right next to the Loch Ardnahoe. And you can see where they got the name from. It is located on the, northeast of Islay, more than east, not to the very north, but on the east shore. And it's a beautiful look to the to Jura and the paps of Jura. So when you drive from, Portiscake up the road, and at some point you see a big loch on the left when you drive to Bunnahabhain, and you saw that loch, and now there's a distillery on the right side. I've been to the distillery, not right into the distillery. I've been to the distillery and I've visited their visitor center, and I went to the restaurant twice. And it was a good restaurant, but I think they closed it. And I've seen the warm tubs, and you can see a little bit of the spirits, pot stills as well from my trip there. And yeah, that was the Ardnahoe Distillery for me. Unfortunately, I haven't been into it yet, but I've heard a lot of it. They actually do take their water from the Ardnahoe Loch. So it's one of these peated highland waters, or Islay waters. The peatiness, the smoky peatiness, does not come from that water, but from the fact that they do dry their malt over peat fire, and they do that with 40 ppm, so kind of the normal Islay strength of peatiness and smokiness. And yeah, they have the distillery manager of Fraser Hughes, and he created this whiskey. As they opened and started distilling in 2018, and we are now in the year 2024, so they had could have been theoretically a 6-year-old. It is a 5-year-old, and waiting that extra year is always a good idea, so you have a little bit of older and younger stuff to marry, to give the blender who has the task of making a well-rounded whiskey and a good whiskey a bit more headroom, and a bit of an easier job to make a well-made 5-year-old. What we can expect is a smoky whiskey, and what we can also expect is that we can expect a little bit of a stronger whiskey, as they have, as I mentioned, they have warm tubs, the very traditional way of condensing the alcoholic fumes. Distillation, you pretty much know how it works. You have your wort, which is kind of a beer, you boil it, and the alcoholic fumes rise up in the pot still through the swan neck and go into the cooler. You can have a shell and tube, where you have water shell and tubes to do that, and the alcoholic vapors condense in these tubes, or you can have the warm pump. It's just a very, 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 very long spiral of a tube, and that cools down the whiskey inside that tube back to a liquid form. The thing is, they work differently. The warm tub condenses the material or the gases pretty quickly, and not in the gaseous form, the copper contact is not as intense as it is in the vapor form. So you do have a bit more of the rougher, spicier, heftier tones inside the whiskey left. Some people don't like it as spirity or too rough or edgy and stuff. Some people do like it a lot, and there are still a number of distilleries out there, mostly in the ownership of Diageo, who still work with warm tops. And being the market right now, you don't change your product because people don't like the change in the product. They like to have a easy cork. They like to have a continuous product made in the old-fashioned way. So I don't think that anybody will change from warm tops to shell and tube in the near future. And yeah. So what else is there to say? I think they had here. They even say it. Matured in a combination of ex-bourbon and ex-oloroso sherry cask. So nice classical combination. It's really a pity that this restaurant closed because because I really like the restaurant. Unfortunately, these guys in there, there were not many people there to serve, and I guess they just didn't have enough population to drive the restaurant. The restaurant would maybe something to be just opened in summer because that is where a lot of tourists come. Oh, it's a nice smoky sensation. Didn't have a smoky, hefty smoky whiskey in quite a few weeks. You do smell that it's a bit younger. It is a bit younger, but it has a nice fresh fruitiness to it, as it is typical with the younger whiskies. Yes, that is a bit of a heftier whiskey. I had a small sip to it, but a lot of smoke in there. A lot of it's not upfront spiciness. Oh, now I know why it kicks me also as well. I expected it to be 43 or something. It's a 51. And yes, you can feel that. Yeah. It's very smoky, fresh fruity. The sherry is lighter on that one. You have a slight influence on sherry, but it's not a strong sherry influence. It just has a few juicy, dark, fruity notes to it. I really like it that the independent bottlers do open up their distilleries, because they are well aware of the whiskey business, and the whiskey business tends to get more out of people who know the business. The Ardnahoe Distillery is there to stay. They're not going to do any funky business and just trying to cheat the customer or something like that. If you have like big companies that buy into the business, some of them can be really well, as Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy did it quite well, but there's always the possibility that someone comes in, buys it, does it really badly, because they come from out of the business. They think it's just the same as vodka or something like that, and you come out with a bad product and it's just wasted. But the Ardnahoe Distillery is, on the other hand, family business of a long tradition of whiskey, and they got themselves a good distillery manager, so I guess they are here to stay. There must be a lot going on that the Ardnahoe Distillery will not surpass. It's not a beginner whiskey, I can tell you that. It's it's 85 euros currently in Germany. You can buy it at Whisky.com. If you come from the Netherlands or from Belgium, a little bit more expensive because of your taxes. And yeah, so it's an expert's whiskey, and the inaugural release will probably be a tenner higher than the normal ones, as they typically are. And yeah, so if you are interested, it's a good one. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.